I'm talking to you from lockdown in Australia. Today we're loosening the belt, apparently, which should be okay because one of the good things about this country is that in a crisis we just buckle up and knuckle down and get on with it. We're not a nation of complainers. Ask us, we'll tell you. How was the meal? Oh, no complaints. Grand. How was the nursing home? Nothing to complain about. We're not very good at it. Lack of encouragement. But I know a guy who bucked the trend and elevated the complaint to an art form. He was impressive. He could complain about almost anything. Weather, rain, too much of it, not enough of it, wrong kind, wind, dust storms, bushfires, traffic. Remember traffic. Public transport, tollways, drivers, any kind, Sunday drivers, tailgaters, slow coaches, Asian drivers, women drivers, young hoons, old goats. Fabulous. But don't get him onto politicians and businessmen and lawyers. The man had a real social conscience. He cared. He cared about the state of the nation and the insanity of the modern world in general. Globalisation, neoliberalism, gulf between the rich and the poor, the deviousness of those who had more than he did, and the utter hide of those who had less than he did and wanted more. Climate change, destruction of the environment, deforestation, acidification, dry rivers, half-dry dams, plastic bags, not being able to hose down your car and water your own lawn seamlessly, flawlessly, fluently. He was good. He complained that nobody did anything, nobody listened. They just sat on their backside and complained while all the time the country was falling apart, not to mention the planet. But it wasn't just the big issues. No. He was also able to care on a human scale. He complained about his wife, the children, people next door, people at work, having to chip in for coffee and biscuits, about the feeling unwell, pain in the chest, uncaring doctors, drug companies pushing medications in your face, which he refused to take on principle, the crisis in the hospitals, etc. His wife called the ambulance. He complained about the ambulance being late, the hard stretcher, the bumpy ride, lack of funding for emergency departments, and the, excuse the language, the bolshy nurse on triage. He complained when he arrived at the pearly gates about the bloody awful time he'd been through and that nobody had listened. And then he saw that St. Peter wasn't listening either. He complained when the elevator went the wrong way. So he walked straight to the special complaints desk in hell, and he spoke to a very nice little devil with a fetching red dress who listened to everything he said and asked for more. She wrote it all down in triplicate and smiled in a slightly disconcerting way, but she listened and she wrote down every single thing he had to say. It seemed like an eternity. So he complained about how long this was taking, and didn't she realise what an important man he was, etc., and she wrote that all down. He complained that she was getting right off the point, which was the dire, parlous state of the world and his life, and she wrote that all down, and it seemed to take a very, 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 very long time. True story.